What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight at 154 pounds in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania between Jaron Ennis and Usman Lima. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also give me a thumbs up on this video? Hit the notification button. Guys, I do live streams every day. I do these Stats Don't Lie video breakdown and predictions. Hit the notification bell so you could be notified every time I put out a video or do a live stream. One more thing, we launched our Johnny Says Boxing VIP membership. This is a monthly membership here on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month. What you get is more access to myself, more access to my social medias, more accessibility during my live streams. But more importantly, with this membership, you become a VIP member of our private professional boxing betting Discord. To learn more, click the link that's pinned in the comment section below. What's up, fight fans? We have another stacked week of boxing. We have fights all throughout the world. There's a big fight card in the UK. There's a big fight card in the States. This specific one is taking us to the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At one time, I called PA home. I went to college for a few years at the University of Pittsburgh, so I'm very well acclimated with the state of Pennsylvania, and you fight fans, especially from that part of the world, are very well acclimated with Jaron Boots Ennis. So in this video, what we're gonna do is talk about Boots' first fight at 154 pounds against the IBO world champion at 154 pounds, Usman Lima. The IBO belt isn't recognized as one of the major belts, but there are parts of the world where the IBO is really well respected, and it is an achievement to achieve that sort of hardware around your waist. So in this video, what we're gonna do is break down both fighters. We're gonna talk about the A side, Jaron Ennis, see what he's been up to in his career. We're talking about his opponent, Usman Lima. We're gonna go over what each one does really well. We're gonna mention their game plans, what to expect as fight fans, and like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. Guys, Usman Lima is not the fighter that everybody wanted to see Jaron Ennis fight next. We know that. He's not a household name, but what he is a legit champion at 154 pounds. The guy only has one blemish on his record. He's the sort of fighter that wants to be in a fight every time. He's gonna come in shape, he's gonna come in prepared, he's a front foot fighter. He is all action all the time. His only loss is to the undefeated Aaron McKenna. He took that fight at a weight class up at 160 pounds, and he took it on 5 days notice. McKenna won a wide decision, but I should also mention, and keep this in mind when we get to the odds at the end, he couldn't stop Lima. So, all things considered, Lima's one blemish, late notice fight against an undefeated prospect at the time who is now a contender, which a lot of people think Aaron McKenna will be a world champion at 160. You don't see a lot of guys trolling Janibek Elimhanaleh and Carlos Adames online like Aaron McKenna. McKenna is a guy that came over from the UK to train with Bomac at B&B Boxing. People talk really highly of him at 160 pounds. So with Lima, he has to look at that loss and wear it as a badge of honor to know that he went the distance, short notice, and held his own in there. This is his natural weight class at 54. He's a big guy. He's going to be about an inch on paper taller than Jaron Ennis. And like I said, he's going to come in, nothing new to him. He's traveled his whole career pretty much. He goes abroad. It's kind of what he does as the B-side. And look over the last 5-6 fights, he's fought all undefeated fighters, and he's come out on top without being the A-side. So that should be mentioned. With Jaron Ennis, this is a guy who has world champion, world legacy status. People expect a lot from him. He's still pretty young, just now entering the physical prime of his career. This will be his first fight at 154 pounds. The southpaw is electric. He's fan-friendly. He could crack. He has good movement. He does things unorthodox at times, and he can be orthodox and disciplined at times. You're going to see a guy who throws punches at different angles. He's going to switch stance. He's going to have fun. And when he starts cooking and starts boxing downhill, he is a nightmare to deal with. All in all, we'll see if Lima at 54 will be able to handle the offensive artillery that Jaron Ennis presents, and also we'll see if Jaron Ennis is going to be able to handle the extra pounds he brings up to 54. We know that he was killing himself to make 47. We know he was massive at that weight class, so a lot of us are excited to see him at this 154-pound weight class. I should mention the IBO, not a major belt, but the 4 current champions, because the winner of this fight will position themselves to fight for probably the WBC belt. The current champions at 54, to remind everybody, Abbas Baral, the newly minted 154-pound WBA champion. You have Murtazaev, the IBF champion. You have the WBC champion in Seb Fandora. And you have the WBO champion in Xander Zayas. So like I said, whoever comes out on top, whether it's Ennis or Lima, should put themselves in a perfect position to fight for a full world title. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the one-loss Usman Lima and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Usman Lima is 14-1 with 10 knockouts. His one loss, he lost a decision out of 2,302 fighters in the world at 154 pounds. He's ranked number 9. He's fought a career total of 81 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 71% career knockout to win ratio. He is the IBO World Super Welterweight Champion. The 32-year-old Southpaw was born in Angola, but calls Portugal home. We last saw him fight Koopman, 15-0, stopped him in the 9th. Bati, 19-0, UD in the 12th. Matavoishin, 18-0, stopped him in the 10th. Maruchan, 14-1, won a UD in the 8th. And the fight before that was Aaron McKenna. Like I told you, he lost a decision, took it on short notice, and went up a weight class. It's pretty much all you need to know about Usman Lima. He is going to come in fearless. He does not care about traveling. He does not buy into the whole A side, B side. What he is going to want to do is stand there and trade with you. He is an aggressive fighter, a front foot fighter. He could punch, he could crack. Where he lacks a bit is kind of moving his head, keeping his chin down. As the fight cooks, he does get hit a lot. I don't want to say tailor-made for Jaron Ennis, but when you think about Ennis's last few performances, fighting a guy like Karen Chukachin for the second time, Karen is a mover. Karen is a guy who's slick. He uses the entire ring. And Ennis, I don't want to say struggled with Karen, but he didn't look like the way he looked against Imana Stanionis. Stanionis is a flat-footed, front-foot guy, high guard, jab to get in, and will punch with you. And we saw what Ennis looked like against Stanionis. And this is kind of similar and akin as a style that Lima will present to Jaron Ennis. The question will be, will the weight class even matter? And will the power from 47 carry up for Boots? Right now, let's take a look at Ennis's career and see what he's been up to. As Jaron Ennis is 34-0 with 30 knockouts. He's still currently ranked in the BoxRec welterweight rankings. He's ranked number 1. We know that he's vacated and he's moved up to 54. This is his first fight there. He's fought a total career of 124 pro rounds and carries into the ring an 88% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as Boots, and the 28-year-old American is listed as an orthodox fighter, but we know he's a switch hitter, and he stands at 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. He was born and raised and proudly calls Philadelphia, PA, USA home. We last saw him fight Stanionis, 15-0, stopped him in the 6th. Chukachin, 24-2, UD in the 12th. Evanishin, 30-4, stopped him in the 5th. Vila, 26-1, stopped him in the 10th. Chukachin the first time, 21-1, won a UD in the 12th. I talked about this earlier on my live stream when I was breaking this down for the boys, and I said that a lot of boxing fans, casuals, will never give a guy his flowers when they're due. It's either always too late. For instance, with Jaron, people could dissect his resume and they'll say, who's he really fought? How many world champions has he fought? He's kind of been gifted sort of opponents. He couldn't stop this guy. He didn't look that good against this guy. And what I tell them is, like, Jaron Ennis is one of the most athletically gifted, skilled, talented fighters in the world at any weight class. Jaron Ennis is a knockout artist and he's undefeated. Jaron Ennis does not know how to lose, and he has power in both hands. He doesn't have one-punch knockout, start you power, but he has sort of this volume, stressful, wear you down, break you power. And sometimes that could be way more demoralizing than just getting caught with one punch. When I look at both guys side by side, Jaron Ennis, at this stage of his career, we haven't really seen him come into the fight as the smaller guy, but Lima will be the naturally bigger guy. Lima will be the taller guy. Ennis on paper does have a reach advantage. It's going to come down to what Ennis chooses to do in the firefight, what style of fight Ennis chooses to execute against Lima. Lima, we know what you're going to get. Front foot, forward, power shots, throw a jab, get in there, get in your opponent's face, and break you down. Some of Ennis' strengths are his counter boxing. He's going to have the speed advantage. He's going to have more offensive tools to use in this fight. Before we get into the Las Vegas odds, I do want to remind everybody in these videos, these are only my money line predictions. I'm going to give you just a winner and a loser. You have to stay tuned to my live streams and join the Discord because there's a few prop bets. There's some over and unders in this fight that are way more valuable in terms of getting more bang for our buck than the money line value is, whether you pick a winner or a loser. Guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Currently on the money line, Jaron Ennis is a massive favorite. He's $1.04, meaning you put 100 on Jaron to win. You get money back plus $4. The draw is 33-1. Lima is a $14 underdog, meaning you put 100 on Lima to win. You get your money back plus $1,300. When I was breaking this fight down on my live stream, everybody was saying Boots by knockout. So if you like Boots by knockout, those odds are only $1.26. So $100 on Boots to win by knockout, you get your money back plus $26. Boots by decision is $4.30. So do you think that Lima could last the entire 12 rounds with Boots? If you do, $100 will get you your money back plus $345. There's an excellent over and under bet, meaning it's right now my book has it at 7.5, meaning that you could still take Boots by knockout and pick the over 7.5 and get the odds to increase from $1.26 to $1.90. I love that bet. I love the value in that bet, meaning that Jaron needs to win by knockout from rounds 8 to 12. And if he knocks Lima out in round 6, you lose your bet. But at $1.89, $1.90, I feel that value might be the play. You're going to have to stay tuned for my exact prediction on the live streams. But on the money line, I don't doubt that Lima's going to be tough. I don't doubt that Lima is going to make Jaron show him some things, but I also don't doubt that Jaron Ennis is going to get beat by Lima. I think Ennis will show out in front of his hometown once again. Hats off to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. I mean, there was a time before Boots was signed with Matchroom where I said that the only thing missing in Jaron Ennis's career was being signed by a major promoter, and in the short time that Eddie has been handling his career, he's given Boots multiple headlining shows in Philadelphia in front of his hometown fans. And what this does is it allows Boots' star to grow, but more importantly, it allows Boots to share the love and allow his guys to be on these cards as well. So this undercard's great. I'm going to feature another fight on this undercard later in the week, so you're going to have to stay tuned. This is not an echo chamber. In the comment section below, maybe you guys see something that I don't. Does Lima come in as a huge road dog, huge B-side, 13-1, and upset the hometown kid Jaron Ennis? Or will this just be another stepping stone in the way of Jaron Ennis' path in becoming a 2-division world champion? Also, guys, stay tuned to the channel all week. We're going to be getting into a lot of the fights taking place in Canada, in the UK, and along on this card. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight in England. It's a rematch between two fighters at 154 pounds, Junaid Boston and Belal Fawaz. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also give me a thumbs up on this video? Both of those things really help me out. It helps get our message out to more people to spread the word of our favorite sport, boxing. Also, do one more thing. go down to the bottom of your screen. You're gonna find a link. Become a member of our Johnny Says Boxing Insider VIP group. You get more access to myself on the channel during our live streams, but more importantly, you become a member of our private professional boxing betting Discord. In that Discord, you'll have access to professional gamblers, you'll have access to amateurs. More importantly, you become part of an exclusive private community. Click the link that's pinned in the comment section below to find out more. All right, guys, we have a lot of fights this week. We've already covered fights in the States. We covered the main event on this card in Sheffield, England. But this feature video takes place at 154 pounds between two guys who already fought before. The first fight ended in a draw. This is the rematch between Boston and Fawaz. When you talk about two fighters who took totally two different paths to get to where they are, you couldn't have found a bigger contrast than this fight coming this weekend. In this video, what I'm gonna do is break down both fighters' careers. We're gonna talk a little bit about how they go about their business. We're gonna talk about that first fight that ended in a draw. And like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds. And I'll also be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, let's start off with the favorite. Let's start off with the matchroom guy, the prospect that has all the buzz around him, and that is the fighter they call Starboy, Junaid Boston. He came into the first fight a huge favorite. The fight was built around him getting experience against a guy that he was supposed to beat. Let's not get it twisted. The fight started how he wanted it to. He was winning rounds. He was scoring points. Junaid Boston has speed. He's a good boxer. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to operate. He has the skill set. So in that first fight against Fawaz, you got to see all of these sort of tools on display early on in the fight. But we know it's called boxing. We know it's a fight. And sometimes as a fight progresses, a different storyline unfolds. And that storyline with Belal Fawaz was all about pressure, pace, volume, and a little bit of nonverbal communication and psychology. What you started to see play out when you rewatch your tape is the fact that Belal started pouring it on. His output and tempo was stressing out the young 23-year-old fighter, and as he figured this out, Fawaz, and he stayed in that space until the end of the fight. And you can see when the fight got called, you can see when the judges were putting their scorecards together at the very end, one fighter definitely didn't look like he won. He was gassed out, and the other fighter had his arms up, totally expecting to win. To fully understand Belal Fawaz, you have to understand where he comes from. On paper, you guys are gonna look at a 37-year-old versus a 23-year-old. This is not an atypical old veteran that's long in the tooth with a lot of miles. Belal Fawaz was a guy who's lived in the UK since 2002. He was on track to represent the UK twice in the Olympics, once in 2012 and once in 2016. But he failed to do so due to immigration status. The UK never looked at him as a resident, and so this deterred his boxing career. In 2014, over 10 years ago, Frank Warren offered him $200,000 and he couldn't accept it because of his immigration status. This goes on for years. And finally, his boxing gym, the local community where he was living at, protested and protested, and they got his status overturned. This is why you see at 37 years old. I think that's important to mention when you're looking at the statistics and just breaking it down on age, especially when you look at the first fight. A lot of people are saying that Boston is going to be the one to be able to make the adjustments. But when you talk about the adjustments, Boston is the one, in my opinion, who fights a little bit more negatively. He likes fighting off the back foot. He likes counter boxing. On paper, he has more knockouts, but I give the power advantage to Fawaz. The adjustments people are talking about for Boston are definitely gonna have to be in the cardio area. His gas tank, will he fade? Will he allow the pressure from Belal to affect him and put him in a sort of survival state rather than a state of fighting on the front foot and being able to prove to the judges that he actually was the rightful winner this time around? The first one ended in a draw, so this is why the second one's taking place. It's a pretty intriguing fight. The odds are actually wider than I think they should be. Before I get into the odds and go over the underdog and the favorite and also give you my prediction, I do want to take a closer look at the older fighter. I want to take a closer look at Belal Fawaz first and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Belal Fawaz is 9-1-1. Of his 9 wins, he has 3 knockouts. His 1 loss was a decision, and he's coming off that draw. Out of 2,310 fighters in the world at 154 pounds, he's ranked number 162. He's fought a career total of 61 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 33% career knockout to win ratio. Like I said, he only turned pro in 2022. The 37-year-old was born in Nigeria. He stands at 5'11.5" and now calls the United Kingdom home. We last saw him fight Junaid Boston, 10-0, split draw. Amos, 13-1, won a points decision in the 10th. Sislak, 8-16, points in the 4th. Granum, 9-129, points in the 4th. Ananyani, 6-3, points in the 10th. So with Belal Fawaz, if you've never seen him, if you haven't watched tape on him, the thing about him is he weaponizes his cardio. It's one of my favorite things about this matchup is when you put a guy who likes to counterbox in Boston, when you put a guy who likes to use his speed and his sort of naturally God-given talents in Boston against a guy who isn't going to be as technical, who doesn't have the speed advantage, who doesn't have as many gifts as his opponent, you're going to get a guy in Fawaz who's going to press forward and bring the fight to you. I think this time around, if he wants the judges to go his way, I see a lot of people online say that he's going to have to stop Boston. I disagree. Just because on paper you see that he was born in Nigeria, I already told you guys, he's lived in the UK for the last 25 years. It's not like the crowd in Sheffield is going to be 100% pro-Boston. It's not going to be like the judges are looking at Fawaz as a traveler. He is a UK guy. The UK community are the ones who got his migration status overturned and allowed him to become a resident. That being said, I feel what he did from the 5th round onwards, the space he fought the fight. I saw Boston look a little bit uncomfortable in the pocket throughout that fight. I saw Boston have a little bit of a leaky defense in the pocket, get hit with shots that he probably shouldn't have got hit with considering his skill set. So with Belal, I feel what he did in the 5th onwards, he'll probably start off much earlier and bring that fight to Boston. The question is, will Boston's timing, speed, accuracy be too much to hold off Fawaz? And will Boston's gas tank be able to last the entire time? Right now, let's take a closer look at Starboy and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Junaid Boston is 10-0-1. Of his 10 wins, 8 of them come by knockout. Out of 2,310 fighters in the world at 154 pounds, he's ranked number 72. He's fought a career total of 69 pro rounds and brings into the ring an 80% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as Starboy, and the 23-year-old southpaw stands at 5'11". He was born and raised in Rotherham, Yorkshire, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Belal Fawaz, 9-1, split draw in the 10th. Samariva, 9-4, stopped him in the 3rd. Martin, 9-1, stopped him in the 8th. Russ, 6-0, won a UD in the 8th. McCullough, 7-3, stopped him in the 6th. It's very rare that I get super excited about a domestic international dust-up, but this matchup has all the makings for another exciting fight. Follow both guys on Instagram. You'll see what I'm talking about. Junaid Boston is the more quiet guy. He is young. He's kind of the boy in there. They call him Starboy for a reason. Hasn't gone through the sort of physical maturity process of a grown man in a combat sport like Belal Fawaz has gone through. When you look at Belal's social media, he's an artist. He makes music. He's good on the microphone. Psychologically, he feels that he won that fight. All week, they've been doing their face-offs, their stare-downs, and Belal is pressing up on Starboy, trying to intimidate him, and we'll see if any of that carries over into the fight. Like I said, Boston's going to be the quicker guy. He's going to be the more skilled guy. He's going to have the sharper reflexes, and I think overall, if we had to say technicality, winning rounds, who's the better technical boxer, I give it to the young kid. There's a reason why he's being marketed. There's a reason why he's a top prospect. Going into this fight, he's once again the favorite. He's not as big of a favorite as he was in the first fight, but the odds are still pretty wide. I watched the first fight. This will be controversial. I scored the first fight to Fawaz 6-4. I initially had it 7-3 for Fawaz, rewatched it in the last 2 days, 6-4. The draw, I understand how it went that way. It was really a tale of two fights. Like I said, the adjustment conversation. Well, Junaid can make more adjustments than Belal. Maybe it will come down to whose game plan has changed or altered. Belal won't have to do too much different. I just think it's going to come down to when and where he chooses to press and put on the gas and the tempo. Also, putting Junaid Boston in a position to punch with him early on in the pocket, also keeping Boston on the back foot. Right now, before I give you guys my money line prediction, I want to remind everybody I do live streams every single day. In those live streams during fight week, we go over-unders, method of victories, prop bets. Remember, in these Stats Don't Lie videos, you're only going to get my money line prediction. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Currently on the money line, Starboy, Junaid Boston is $1.42 favorite, meaning you put 100 on Boston just to win, you get your money back plus $42. The draw is 16 to 1. Fawaz is a $3.15 underdog, meaning 100 on Bilal gets you your money back plus 215 bucks. If you're going for Boston, the $1.42 on a parlay is great value already. You don't have to get too sexy or too fancy picking a method of victory, a stoppage, or a decision. You put $1.42 on a long money line parlay, that'll juice it up pretty significantly. And vice versa with Bilal Fawaz, if you're siding with him coming in over a 2-to-1 dog after we just saw how this played out, after everything I just spoke about, what I've seen on tape study, that value is amazing for me. I think this should be a 50-50 fight. All things considered, how the first fight played out, with the pace, with the tempo, the sort of psychological, I feel, advantage that Fawaz has. And all fight week, he's been in Junaid Boston's ear, letting him know about it. You give me Bilal Fawaz at $3.15, I'm jumping on that all day long. I know this is kind of a pick'em 50-50 fight, and you guys know from my channel this is not an echo chamber. Right now in the comment section below, let me know if you agree with me, if you're taking Bilal Fawaz, or if you're gonna go with Starboy, Junaid Boston, getting it done in the rematch. Also, guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of the main event of this card in Sheffield, England, at heavyweight between Dave Allen and Arslanbek Makhmudov, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. If you're new to my channel, I say welcome. I'm a boxing and strength and conditioning coach down here in Sydney, Australia. I was born and raised, though, in Youngstown, Ohio. First walked into my first boxing gym when I was 7 years old. So if you're a fan of boxing and if you feel it's the greatest sport on earth, you are in the right place. If you guys are an OG to my channel, I say thank you. In today's video, we're gonna break down a very intriguing and exciting heavyweight fight this weekend in the UK between Arslanbek Makhmudov and Dave Allen. Guys, before I continue, I wanna remind everybody, we just launched our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insider membership here on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month. It gives you more access to the channel. It gives you more access to my daily boxing betting live streams. You get accessibility on all my social media channels, but more importantly, with this membership, you become a member to our private VIP professional boxing betting Discord. If you want to find out more, that link is pinned in the comment section below. All right, guys, we have a busy week of boxing. I feel like we're just starting to cook, getting ready for the end of 2025. We've already covered the main event this weekend in Philly between Jaron, Ennis, and Usma Lima. If you haven't watched my breakdown prediction of that fight, that video is pinned in the comment section below. We have fights all across the world. This card is taking us to the UK. This fight is at heavyweight between two knockout artists, between two really large guys. And I gotta be honest with you, right now, I really don't expect this fight to go the distance. In this video, what we're gonna do is break down both fighters' careers. We're gonna talk a little bit about how they go about their business, what's at stake. And like always, be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds and be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, Arslanbek Makhmudov. Moving forward, we're just gonna call him Arslanbek, $1 million name. This is a guy similar to Dave Allen who kind of has had multiple careers all wrapped into one, with Arslanbek going back into his amateur days. He was a feared aura graced knockout artist, meaning that all you had to say his name in boxing circles and people thought this guy was just literally a video game character that couldn't lose. He had sort of a invincibility factor about him. Big puncher, could walk through the biggest, heaviest hands and always come out on top. We know going from the amateur pedigree to the pro pedigree all the time, sometimes results don't always pan out. As a professional, he's had thus far a really good career. He has had mixed results as of late. He does have 2 losses. Both of those losses come via stoppage. He is coming off a knockout win though of Ricardo Brown. In those 2 knockout losses, Guido Vianella, an Italian Olympian, a pro that we featured before on the channel, he last fought against Kiki Torres. Guido's actually fighting this weekend as well on that undercard of Jaron Ennis. He's taken on the Canadian Alexi Barea, which I'll also be covering that fight. But back to Arslanbek, he got stopped against Guido, not necessarily the biggest puncher. We got to see a lot of flaws in Makhmudov's game, and the more tape you watch on him, even go back to the AJ Cabello fight when he got stopped, you're able to pick up on where his shortcomings are. If you could get past the power, if you could get past the invincibility factor as an opponent, Arslanbek is very beatable. Wear him down, he takes a lot of shots, really is a stiff guy, relies on his power, literally has one gear, moves forward, and he's at his best when he's landing, he's at his best when you're backing up, he's at his best when he's touching you. But if you could draw him into the middle rounds, if you could start landing on him, if you could make him miss, if you could get him tired, he is really there to be yours. And this is why his opponent, Dave Allen, after the Johnny Fisher second fight, Eddie Hearn walked into the ring after he had cut Allen and didn't sign him a couple years earlier and re-signed him. You know, business as usual. This thing goes back to the day and age of the golden era with Don King. You know, having fighters who are the A side, he's promoting, his A side guy loses, and within the ring, as his guy's knocked out, he signs the other guy. This is kind of similar what happened with Dave Allen. We know that he fought Johnny Fisher twice. Johnny Fisher was being promoted as the next heavyweight in line. The first fight, the way that played out, it went to a split decision loss for Dave Allen. Dave Allen dropped Fisher in the 5th, could have got him out of there. I thought he won every round from the 5th onwards, and he lost a B-side decision. And the second fight, Allen didn't leave it up to the judges, fought Fisher again and knocked him out. And this is where you start seeing a renaissance of Dave Allen's career. You look at his box rec, you see a guy with 7 losses. You look at his box rec, he's been stopped multiple times. I do want to mention, people always talk about if so-and-so stopped him, Fraser Clark stopped him, he's been stopped 4 times. What do you think Arslanbek's going to do? To those people, I must say, Dave Allen's never been on the canvas, never been knocked down. All right, Johnny, how's he been stopped before? Stopped in the corner, and he's also had standing stoppages where the ref just kind of calls it off. This version of Dave Allen, before I get to the prediction, I want to let everybody know, is a motivated version. This guy, if you follow his social media, you'll hear him talk really openly about his past addictions, past struggles, a lot of performances in the past. He said he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's a father now, has a home now, is kind of like everybody's sort of underground king in the UK's heavyweight division out of nowhere. And the winner of this fight really positions themselves once again to have a massive fight. And you got to think with Dave Allen, if you're in his camp, he's been outspokenly saying who he wants to fight. And I'm not here to start rumors because I'm not the only one saying this. Google it, go to YouTube, go to your favorite boxing content creator in the UK. You'll hear Dave Allen wants to fight Deontay Wilder. And could you only imagine that matchup? But he has to get through Arslanbek first. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at Arslanbek Makhmudov and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Arslanbek is 20-2 with 19 knockouts. His 2 losses, he did get stopped. Out of 1,572 fighters in the world at heavyweight, he's ranked number 31. He's fought a career total of 57 pro rounds, and he carries into the ring a 95% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Lion. And the Russian is a 36-year-old Orthodox fighter standing at 6'6". He was born in Mazag, Russia, but calls Montreal, Quebec, Canada home. We last saw him fight Ricardo Brown, 12-0, stopped him in the first. Guido Vianello, 12-2, he got stopped in the 8th. Rovkinen, 27-3, he stopped him in the second. Caballel, 23-0. He got stopped in the 4th. Wright, 20-4. He won by first round stoppage. So like I said, a lot of fighters who come from an amateur background with an aura about them, there's a reason for it. Makhmudov, there's a reason for it. Electric power, stopped everybody. Like I said, 95% career knockout to win ratio, 6'6", giant. Big, massive head, big, massive fists. He walks you down, stays on the front foot, and just throws these clubbing punches. The problem with that, as you climb the ladder, as you grow in your career, you're fighting guys like Ajit Caballel, you're fighting guys like Guido Vianello, guys who can match you skill for skill, but could also take your power because they're equally as big as you. So at the world level, if you can't alter your game, if you can't make adjustments, if you can't last the entire distance of the fight, you're gonna struggle. And we started to see a lot of this with Arslanbek, his stiffness, his lack of head movement, his speed, his one-dimensional approach to the game. Now, going into this fight, can he knock Dave Allen out? Yes. Can he win this fight? Yes. Can he hurt Dave Allen? Yes. The question will be, how does he go about doing it? Does he disguise his setups? Does he use his jab? Does he move his head? Does he feint? Does he do any foot feints? I want to see some foot feints from him. I'm a big feint guy. Does he work the body or does he just headhunt it? All of these questions will be answered. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the White Rhino, Dave Allen, and see what he's been up to in his career. Dave Allen is 24-7-2. Of his 24 wins, he has 19 knockouts. Of his 7 losses, he's been stopped 4 times. Out of 1,572 fighters in the world at heavyweight, he's ranked 79. I do want to mention there's 58 heavyweights in the UK. This shows you how deep the heavyweights currently in this era in the UK are. He's ranked 14. He's fought a career total of 144 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 79% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the White Rhino, and the 33-year-old Brit is a 6'3" orthodox fighter with a 75-inch reach. He was born in Doncaster, Yorkshire, United Kingdom, and calls Conisbrough, Yorkshire, United Kingdom, home. He fought Johnny Fisher 2 times back-to-back. The first time, Fisher was 12-0. He lost a split in the 10th. The rematch, which was his last fight, he stopped Fisher in the 5th. First one, he fought Buchetta, 8-14, won a points in the 4th. Darnell, 2-25, won a points in the 4th. Fraser Clark back in 2023. Fraser was 7-0. He got stopped in the 6th. This guy, after he got stopped from Fraser Clark, is basically fighting in a gym smaller than my high school auditorium in 4-round fights, right? I come from a sporting background in a sports environment in Northeast Ohio, and Tuesday nights and Thursday nights during our high school basketball season, we would play high school basketball in front of 3,000 to 4,000 people. These 2 4-rounders Dave Allen fought in after the Fraser Clark knockout loss, there were probably a couple hundred people there. Why I reference that is this guy could have easily hung him up. Everybody wrote him off. Everybody said that this guy was done, damaged goods. He's an old heavyweight at 32 years old, at 31 years old, and we're just going to feed him to Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher is next in line. Let Johnny Fisher eat, and let's market this guy. Fisher, if you don't know, Bosch, has a huge social media following. His dad is a great follow as well. All around great guy. But Dave Allen said, I don't believe in that script. Shows up as the B-side, and like I already told you, lost the fight, but a lot of people thought he won. Gets the rematch, and then goes viral for this knockout, and all of a sudden revitalizes his career. All of a sudden, he's getting a headlining fight. All of a sudden, he has guys like myself mentioning a potential fight with him and Deontay Wilder. Dave Allen currently is the underdog. So before I get into the current odds and give you my prediction, I want to let everybody know I do live streams every single day. In those live streams, that's where we go over method of victories, props, over and unders, long parlays. In these Stats Don't Lie videos, all I'm going to give you is my money line prediction. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Currently on the money line, Arslanbek is a favorite. Barely. It's not quite a 50-50 fight. Arslanbek is $1.83, meaning you put $100 on him to win. You get your money back plus 83 bucks. The draw is 16-1. Dave Allen is a $2.10 underdog, meaning that you put 100 on Allen to win. you get your money back plus $110. So when I look at these guys side by side and I'm thinking about where I'm putting my money, 50-50 fight on the money line. Allen's an underdog. I love those odds. Allen is athletic. He's a big dude as well, 6'3", 6'4". Arslanbek's about 6'6". Allen's gonna have the foot speed. He's gonna have the maneuverability. He's gonna have the athleticism. And what it's gonna come down to is who's gonna have the power advantage and who's gonna be more durable. Durability is gonna be the key word here. Let's circle it, write it in big capital letters, and put a tick by it. Durability. Whoever's more durable wins this fight. That's really important. Whoever lands more wins this fight. Will this fight go the distance? I don't think so. I think that's a great prop bet. I don't know the odds. I'm going to go over them today on my live stream. Who I'm going with all in. You give me the White Rhino at home with this current version of himself, this energy, this career trajectory, having aspirations, hope, goals, telling everybody he's finally switched on. $2.10, $100. I get my money back plus more. Let's do it. I'm going all in on the money line on the White Rhino. This is not an echo chamber. In the comment section below, let me know if you agree or disagree, if you like Arslanbek, the favorite, or the Brit, Dave Allen. Guys, also, if you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of the main event in Philly this weekend between Jaron, Ennis, and Usman Lima, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.